Okay. Um, as I said before, as a target individual, they want you to identify with what you experience and to start thinking these ways of just kind of identifying with the nastiness that you experience and wanting to get you to subscribe to this logic. Because what's happening is I'm getting disturbing stimulations and sensations that they want me to be like, oh no, you know what this is matching to what you felt when you were a child. Right? You see that picture, that's where they say this thing is where what you're experiencing today is like we made you feel what you would feel around that time. Right? Now, first of all, let's just be clear that you are an adult individual, not only an adult but somebody in mid-30s, and second of all, these people who are talking to you about this are people who've been using ways to torment people, employing deploying these tactics of pedophilia manipulations, meaning forcing you to experience disturbing things. And so these people who not only do this pedophilia type of torture, obviously do these horrible things to kids. There was a video I dropped yesterday. It was, something happened. They had to turn it. They had to remove it, which I don't know if it's somebody there who kind of tried to get this removed because they tried to come up with this fantasy where these people are not torturing children, right? But it's not. It's reality is they are torturing children. They do horrible things to children. This weapon that's implemented on me is also implemented on kids. But they want to block that reality. So I won't be surprised if one of them did something to create this video to be removed, right? But I've been saying that for a lot, and these testimonials are not even coming from me. It's just I think while they're doing this to me, they want to escape into a different reality. Because these people who not only do this specific type of torture actually torture children. And so with me, what's happening? So what you're seeing here, and as I'm saying that before I go into what you're saying there, which is you see this little girl and her mother, and you see me, which I assume is her mother. This is when you're on when you are on those Bumble apps or whatever, this women with their kids, and that's part of their profile picture. Me, they always do this disturbing thing. So now what I do, instead of just escaping or just running, I'm like, listen, this is what they make me experience. This is what they do. So you see this picture of me as a child, and you see this picture of this blur picture, which I always blur those pictures because it's not about I don't want to show these kids. I just want to show what they do to me. And then they force me to experience stimulations of some sort, and then say, you see, the way you look at this kid right now, the way you're feeling this right now, dude, is we matched it to you when you were about that age. Now you understand that things that it doesn't make sense, but they try to get you to accept this, and they make me think of me as a kid. And they bring up things that, okay, as a kid I did something stupid once. It was just a moment there like that, and just a stupid moment and that's that. And it was none of this feeling they make me experience, but it's just a moment that was just, and they're trying to add feelings to it to create the same feeling that I'm feeling today. But I did something stupid once, it was done. Meaning that it was something that I never even thought about, right? I didn't even think about, because as a kid you do something stupid, you don't think about it again, and they're trying to create a pattern of some sort, which is none. And what they're trying to do is give me these feelings. Well, right now they even try to make me feel that this is how I felt when I was 9 years old, in third grade. You understand? This is beyond, it's just ridiculous. To that they try to get you to feel something like that and say, no, that's how you felt when you were third grade. Even younger, 8 years old, 9 years old. See, remember when you were like a little boy, you remember seeing that little girl? Remember that feeling you felt? This is that. We matched it. This is the things that, I have to deal with. And then they try to really make you subscribe to this. These people who not only do the perfect type of torture, not only torture children as young as this little girl, but Just add the cherry on top of the cherries, there's issues with these agencies with pedophilia. And me, they're trying to make me feel feelings that falsify and say that this is what you felt when you were like 9 years old. They go as young as that, even younger, at third grade or something like that. Third or second grade, something like that. And so that's that. Remember when they like, this is something to just bringing up right now. Remember when there was a little girl that came that was like, I don't know, 7 years old. You were like 8, 9 years old, and you remember feeling something. That's ugh. Like what? Delusional. It's disgusting. They try to create like, and they're always like, no, but I remember when you're 12. It's like, oh, stop it. Can you imagine being an adult individual in their 30s having to be forced to think that, oh no, this is you when it's just disturbing. But this is how they create this quote unquote match. You use somebody's childhood to try to make somebody who's in their 30s accept these manipulations. While not only you do horrible things to kids, right? They torture children in so many ways, including sexual torture, including other torture. You are renowned to do the pedophilia type of torture, and you will listen to this testimony. I will always bring up testimonials of others who've said the same thing. And you also have issue with pedophilia, which you try to counter it with some BS things they put together. They have pedophilia issues in these agencies, meaning that is a lot of pedophiles in these intelligence agencies, which contract these perps that are supposed to make me accept these things. And so to counter this too, they're like, oh, we're going to frame you, you're going to go to trial, and then they're going to... So, okay, does that not make my points? You frame, you do all the foul things, you do perfect, like this is what somebody who do what you do would do. People who can force somebody to think in these disturbing ways and then try to be like, no, we're going to frame you, it's like try to counter. They want to disorient you because they think that's okay, that proves the point. You see, you feel this way, that's we match it to you when you're a kid, so you're gonna go to court, you're gonna be trial, you're gonna frame me, which is another proof that you guys do these foul things. What kind of people frame? Avengers? No, they do nasty. These people do everything that's nasty, including torturing children. And they use these childlike people, but at this point, every time something's going to happen to me in that nature where they force me to experience these disgusting things, I'm going to put this thing back to reality. Regardless if whatever I'm experiencing is still experience, because right now they try to have this part of my brain. Unfortunately, I know they control everything I experience. Everything I experience is control. They can turn it off 2 seconds and I'll be normal and be able to see that normally and be like, okay, this is our normalcy. They can make me feel these feelings. And it's like, you see, remember you felt like that when you were a kid. And they were like having this thing where, this kid is cute like that because she's a cute little girl like that, and you like little girls like that, you can feel so disgusting. They then try to even make me literally right now, they make me think of, remember in third grade, remember the little 7-year-old girl when you were like 9 years old or 8 years old? This is the things they do. It's just, why are you serious? These people have no shame, but that's what they do. Regardless of how they try to force you, it's manipulated one way or another for you to experience this. But then try to use your childhood to try to make you validate this. It's like, what? No, you're manipulating me. It's disgusting. But I'm not the first person who says that. I will not be the last person to say that. They have a pattern of utilizing pedophilia tactics to break you down. And for me, now I'm just like, they have tried to have these battles in my brain, which at one point, which is the biggest mistake I've made, is to actually try to analyze what these things was. How can you imagine? And that's how I feel like an idiot. What was I even thinking to be like, oh, did you feel like that when you were like 9 years old? Did you feel like that when you were 10? I was in my 30s and they tried to make me, and I was like, because not knowing who these people were, you would actually start thinking, oh, maybe, yeah, but they're 10 years old. In your 30s, talking about and thinking this way, what? So to all my target individuals, this is disturbing, but remember, at this point, every time I'll speak about what they do to me, I'll bring up what they've done to others. because then you hear the obvious patterns of what they do. It's disgusting. They use pedophilia as ways of tormenting people, and they try to minimize the level of nastiness these people are. They are pedos that have been forcing me to experience disgusting things. And when I say pedos, I mean in the sense that these people work day in and day out to try to get you to accept this nasty manipulation that they force you to experience. And I'm going to speak day in and day out till I can't speak, just because I want to make sure that this good blessing coming their way comes in the proper way. I'd rather die slow. I'd rather suffocate. I'd rather struggle, because these people say, oh, you'll struggle. I was like, listen, struggle is not unique to target an individual. Because I know I can hear them. They're going to, they'll face some real struggle too. But, before that, let them feel like God so they can understand the true struggle. They like to call, oh, you're arrogant, you're this and that. I was like, no, I'm not arrogant. I know that the worst thing is going to happen to me. I'm going to be suffering and tormented because I was put in this program by my old employer. And these people create this disturbing manipulation, force you to experience all these things that can push one to even be suicidal. I was close to that. Very close to that. Very close to that. But because I've been validated by too much, I couldn't. And seeing how strong these people who've been going through the same thing I've gone through, I was like, I cannot do that. I can, look, like, this is just too much. So let me show you and this is something you've heard already, what made me strong enough to maintain and not go to the extent where, I was close to reaching that path. Because I was like, these people are changing me. They're conditioning me. They're changing the way. They like really rewire my brain to see things like that every day. They're going to change me into something else. So I'd rather go instead of being changed in that way. Now, after listening to testimonials and hearing, it's like, listen, this woman is still understanding herself. She knows this be manipulations. Who am I to be weak to that level and, let myself go? I can't do that. Let me stay as strong as long as I can. If I end up doing something, it's because I've been tortured in other ways. So to all my target individual, listen to this and know why I maintain strength.
Everything I can to ensure my continued good health, including trying to go for a walk as often as possible, which has become the only form of exercise I have been able to do since 2015. And even that, I'm not able to do as much as I'd like due to the exhaustion every day, as well as the sexual assaults that make it difficult to walk at times. For the past 3 years, it has been all about survival, literally, just trying to keep myself alive to get me to the day when I can be free from this torture. Every day has been a miracle of survival. I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my... This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual as well.
You can't take this whole thing into account so much and make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophiles. Like, this disgusting thing. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through weapons. I don't know. I don't care.
All targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds. And are forced to view child pornography in their minds. And vice versa is true, that heterosexual religion in order not to be beaten or killed. This is a common breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
Sort of calmed down a bit now. The V2K is not as loud as it used to be before. It's more stealthy. Like, they turn it down a notch. They turn it down a lot to make it appear as though the thoughts in my head are actually mine, which I know they aren't most of the time, because, these people are very perverse.
Very playful with my pet, and suddenly one day that I was petting him I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continued. Then in that moment I realized that was impost, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing, and then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ass. So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use of people, better said young people, also children and thoughts and imagination. With their equipment they can not only read my mind, but also implant any images, generate any stream of thoughts, and manipulate my emotions and behavior. Judging by what I have experienced since August 2003 until now, August 2007, the Secret Service of Lithuania has obtained and are using against the citizens state-of-the-art psychotronic weapons that can be used to manipulate and fabricate the processes in your psyche. From what I have experienced, they are able to impose any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves, which in the mind take the form of voices, thoughts and images and imagination. In addition to this kind of implanting information that they need, they manipulate the psyche so that the information is written into your memory. Then by stimulating the certain regions in the brain they can retrieve this information and present it as your own memory. This is the conclusion that can be made judging by the influence they have been making on me with their psychotronic weapons, for example artificial thoughts, imagination, and mental torture. Between 2003 and 2004 I was
These testimonials show the level of manipulation they have and how disturbing they are with the different tactics. But they also have these disturbing ways of just manipulating your libido in these foul ways and try to get you to subscribe to this. But you know that things are being changed. They have to manipulate you to experience these things. And this is what is happening when I see this little girl and them try to make me think, oh, this is when you're like, listen, does it even make sense? So to all my target individuals, they're going to do whatever they can for you to subscribe to this obvious manipulation and use logic that is almost damn near spectrum-like to get you to subscribe to that. They do this nasty manipulation, but not only they force you to have these disturbing psychological torments, but they also torture children. So know that you are not what they try to manipulate you to be or to experience, but you are being manipulated. So things are being done to your brain, changed for you to experience what you're experiencing. And for them to even use this childhood like memories of stimulations that are implanted and created as young as you as in third grade is ridiculous. To stay strong and know that justice will be done.